We are in day 31, and we are entering the fourth quarter of the journey, which, when we comparing it to the worlds, we're entering the world of Atzilut. Of course, that's just how we're representing the 40 days. Don't think that today you have a ticket to the world of Atzilut. But what we want to take from that is that the first quarter, we added a lot of actions corresponding to the world of action, Olam Asiyah. The next quarter, we were focusing on Olam HaYetzirah, doing a lot of tshuva. In the third quarter, we already started refining our midot in the world of Bria, and now in the world of Atzilut, we are going to really focus on how do I achieve a very close relationship to Hashem. How do I become completely annulled to the Master of the universe, which is really my main goal, is to be batel betachlita bitul, completely annulled in all types of nullification in front of the Master of the universe, that I become a chariot to His glory, and then Hashem can operate through me in the world. Now, that can only be done after I added a lot of mitzvot, after I did tshuva, after I refined myself. Now I'm ready to stand in front of the Master of the universe and say to Him, in other words, how do you need me to serve you in the world? Now, in order to do that, of course, Hashem has to be number one. I know a lot of people saying in theory, well, of course Hashem is number one, but that works in theory. If you put a good meal in front of them, or to go and do a mitzvah or prayer for 3 hours, many people say, let me eat first, then I'll do the 3-hour prayer or whatever mitzvah Hashem wants me to do. But in many cases, we put Hashem number two. We make Hashem secondary, and my needs first. We need to switch that. Hashem needs to be the highlight. Hashem needs to be number one. So one of the first steps that needs to be done is a certain verse that we can find in the book of Tehillim. And the verse goes as, Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. This can be found in Tehillim Tetzayin 16, verse 8, Chet. The whole verse goes as follows. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. I should not share it with Hashem's name. Shiviti Adonai lenegdi tamid. Ki mimini bal emot. This is the whole verse. In English it means, I have placed the Lord before me constantly. Because He is at my right hand, I will not falter. Now, really what it means that Hashem has to be in front of my face in 24 hours a day. It says as follows in Shulchan Aruch. In the Jewish code of law, it says, Hu klal gadol b'Torah. It's a very strong, powerful, and main rule in the Torah. Uvema'alat hatzadikim ha'olchim lifnei Hashem. This is what the path that the righteous men go in the path of Hashem. She'en yeshivat ha'adam u'tnu'otav v'asakav v'hu levado bebeito k'yeshivato u'tnu'otav v'asakav v'hu lifnei melech gadol. Because when my actions, when I'm in my home, when I'm walking in the street, any action that I do is not the same, should not be the same, when I'm by myself in my closed rooms or if next to a big king. In my home, I walk barefoot without a shirt. I make all sorts of noises coming from my stomach and from other places. I don't behave necessarily the same when I'm in my closed house. But imagine now you would be next to a big king. You would be sitting like this. If you have a burp, you go like that. In your home, you take the burp up like that. And next to a very big king, you wouldn't do that. You'd be like, excuse me. So, the same thing has to be with the Master of the universe. How would you behave if you would be hanging at the mercy of a judge, and the judge will decide now your fate? How would you behave? You would be like on the best behavior. Why? Because the judge is in front of you. But at home, when nobody looks at you, you are totally different you. There's the you in your home, and there's the you in front of us. So The verse comes to teach you how would you behave next to a great king or a judge that your life is hanging by their mercy. Then do that knowing that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is constantly next to you. Every moment of your life, Hashem is next to you. He's in your thoughts. He's in your heart. He's in your house. He sees you breakdancing with your underpants when nobody sees. I told you already, if you put now music next to people, then people will be like, put the same song. When you are by yourself in your home, suddenly you're making the moves of you can teach Michael Jackson how to dance, but that's when it's just you in your room. You moonwalking, but next to us, you'll be like. So, the point we want to take from that, you have to internalize that the master of the universe is in front of you at any second. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. I have to understand that Hashem is in front of me. Everywhere that I go, Hashem is in front of me. Everything that I do, my thoughts, my speech, my action, everything, Kadosh Baruch Hu is around me all the time. Now, how would you behave if that would be the case? Your language would be clean. Your behavior would be different. Excuse my language, but when sounds have to come out of your body, it will come much less than how you would do it by yourself or with your buddies and many other things. You would eat completely different. So if you change your behavior to impress the people around you, or if chas v'shalom you're in a big danger and you have to impress the judge, the police officer, whatever it is, why wouldn't you do that knowing that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is around you all day long? Now, when you're constantly placing Hashem in front of you, first of all and most important, your behavior is appropriate. You watch your language, you watch your thoughts, you pay attention to how you behave. And needless to say that you are making Hashem number one, because He's constantly there. If I behave in a rude or disgusting or immature or whatever way, thinking that nobody's around me, then you're basically saying, in other words, also Hashem is not around me. Now I'm going to give you a very harsh, disgusting example, but we're talking the entire month about Tikun Brit and the severe sin of the Brit. And I know it's not so appropriate. I know people don't like hearing it. I know it's rated R+. But would you behave in public how you behave in a closed room? No! I don't know anybody that would just sit in front of a crowd of people with his laptop and do what he does in a closed room. Right? So don't you think Hashem is in the room while you enjoying yourself? Some material to think about, no? I would feel so embarrassed, so ashamed, so mortified to think that I'm doing something immoral in a room by myself and 1,000 people are looking at me. Don't you think that Hashem is in the room with you? And of course later on this will be projected on screens, large screens in the heavenly court. You know how you get an email from a newsletter? All the souls of the universe, including gazillion amount of angels, they're on some newsletter in Shamayim. And they will broadcast your trial in front of gazillions of angels and billions of souls. They get a newsletter. Bing! Hey, it's Moshe Zuchmin's trial today. Are you coming to see what he did in the last 70 years? You will be mortified when you understand that everything that you do is going to be broadcast on large screen TVs in the spiritual court that you're going to be called for at the end of days. So think very, very, very carefully before you do things in closed doors. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. Hashem is constantly around you. In the bathroom, in the shower, in your room, in your bed, when you're walking in the street, when you're watching junk on the internet. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. I think you should take spray paint, spray it on your walls, in your home, or at least engrave it in your conscious. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid. The Master of the universe should be constantly. I have placed the Lord before me constantly. Your behavior will be totally different. But that's how you start becoming aware. Hashem Malach, Hashem Melech, Hashem Imloch L'olam Va'ed. There's nothing but the Kadosh Baruch Hu. En od milvado. The Zohar says, En atar panui mineh. There's not one place in the universe that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is not there. Kadosh Baruch Hu is everywhere. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere. That's what they sing to the little kids in the kindergarten. But the Master of the universe is all over the place. You just have to remember that, internalize that, and live by that. Shiviti Hashem lenegdi tamid.